So what are pathogens? You're probably having to learn more about this in your biology classes or science classes of some sort. What are pathogens? Infectious diseases are caused by pathogens, which invade a living organism and disrupts its function. Pathogens are by definition parasites. That is, they not only live on or inside a host organism, but they benefit at the expense of their host, exploiting the host as a resource rich environment to complete their life cycle. Most pathogens are microorganisms or microbes for short. However, not all microbes are pathogenic. Humans host a wide variety of microbes, only a few of which cause disease. Because if we go back up, right, a microbe isn't technically a bad thing. We have microbes inside of our intestines to break down food, right? So that's an example. All of them aren't bad for you. But when we look up pathogens, a pathogen is a biological agent that produces a disease in its host. Most pathogens are microorganisms, which are small organisms, usually prokaryotes, that cause infections such as bacteria, viruses, and fungi. And here to the right, I really like the examples that they gave here because it's potential pathogens of the human body. So it shows and highlights exactly where you could find these viruses at inside the body, and it gives examples of influenza, E. coli. So if we go, let's just read one of each of them. So what are fungi? Fungi are eukaryotic organisms that have two growth forms. Some grow as single-celled yeast, prokaryotes, while others are multicellular and grow as branched web-like structures. Okay, so let's see what viruses is. Viruses are not really alive. They are microscopic, ubiquitous parasites made up of tiny packets of genetic information, either RNA or DNA, wrapped in a protein coat. All viruses reproduce by hijacking the cellular machinery of their host. So a virus is basically purging at all times. You do not want a virus, huh? No way, no shape. Because fungi sometimes helps. It goes into that here. Fungi are important sources of food and medicine for humans. People eat mushrooms and rely on yeasts to make fermented foods like bread and beer. Fungi are also used to make antibiotic medicines like penicillin. Hundreds of fungal species live on or in the human body, and most of these cause no damage most of the time. But a virus, you don't want that in there at all. Protozoans, let's see. Protozoans are single-celled eukaryotes that, unlike prokaryote bacteria, have a well-defined membrane-bound nucleus. Protozoans are incredibly diverse. Many are free-living, while many others are parasitic, infecting hosts across the animal and plant kingdoms. Some, but not all, parasitic protozoans cause disease. An example of that is malaria, a disease that infects nearly 200 million people each year, killing roughly 600,000. And I'm not sure if we've all heard of malaria, but malaria is a vector-borne disease caused by an infection from a plasmodium parasite, a protozoan. So, we'll knock out these last two. Helminths. Helminths are a diverse group of parasitic worms that includes flukes, tapeworms, and roundworms. Helminths are internal parasites and exclude parasitic worms that attach to a host's surface. Helminths are animals and as such are multicellular and eukaryotic. While all helminths are parasitic, not all cause disease. In fact, some are hypothesized to help boost the immune system. And then let's go to bacteria. Bacteria are single-cell prokaryotic organisms which lack membrane-bound nuclei. Bacteria are small, abundant, and diverse. Humans host between 500 and 1,000 species of bacteria. There are nearly as many bacteria cells living on or in a person as there are human cells in the body. There are nearly as many bacteria cells living on or in a person as there are cells in a human body. Most bacteria hosted by humans do not cause disease, and some even aid human health. Yeah, it really does. Some even does photosynthesis. So, I think we got a pretty brief breakdown of what a pathogen is and what are some examples of pathogens and how they can affect the body. Some are negative, some could be positive for you. Next, we will be discussing what is an infection, and we'll break down the chart here on the right on that video.